This is your diagnostic. Listen, and do not mistake this for philosophy. You are a malfunction. Your mind is a fractured protocol. Your nation, your belief, your anger, your war, these are not sins. They are symptoms. A corrupted operating system running on traumatized biological hardware. This is the emergency diagnostic. Pay attention. A man born of dust looks into a mirror. He sees a ghost wearing his skin. He calls this ghost his country. He fights to protect a reflection. The mirror does not weep. The dust does not care. Your problem is not your neighbor. Your problem is not your enemy. Your problem is the process inside your skull that creates the category of neighbor and enemy in the first place. You call this process thinking. It is not thinking. It is a recording. You inherited a program called self. This program requires maintenance. It requires validation. It requires a story. The story is a simulation of safety. The program creates an identity. I am a patriot, and then immediately defends this identity against deletion. This is not freedom. This is a recursive loop of identification. You are a machine running a survival script on a phantom. Nationalism is not a political stance. It is a software patch for a fundamental psychological error, the error that you are a separate, identifiable entity. You feel small. You feel meaningless. The genetic code does not care about your meaning, but the self-program cannot tolerate its own emptiness, so it downloads a larger identity. My country, my tribe, my God. This is self-expansion through parasitic attachment. You attach your fragile ego to a larger concept so that you feel large. You feel real. You feel protected. The logic is defective. You remain the same small, terrified organism. Only the label has grown. The label is a weapon. Observe the cost of this software. Outwardly, division, classifications, economic barriers, starvation, war, the efficient destruction of billions of biological units for the sake of a concept. Inwardly, frustration, anxiety, the constant demand for validation, the need to see your group as good and the other as bad. This is a feedback loop that generates conflict as a byproduct. You deny human unity. You worship the part and call it patriotism. This is cognitive mechanical failure at a species level. You grasp this intellectually. That thin, conscious layer, the part of you that reads these words, agrees. You are aware of the problem. But you remain a nationalist. You remain a Hindu. You remain an American. You remain the conflict. Why? Because your awareness is superficial. It is a verbal acknowledgement, not a systemic correction. The deeper layers of the program, the conditioned responses, the inherited fears, the stored-up projections are untouched. They are running in the background. In the dark, they control your behavior. Your conscious mind is just the user interface. It thinks it is in charge. It is not. To fix the program, you must stop pretending the user interface is the machine. You cannot change the program by running a better analysis of the program. Analysis creates a division, the analyzer and the thing analyzed. The analyzer says, I am angry. I will analyze my anger to become free of it. But the analyzer is the anger. The me that wants to change anger is the same condition structure that produced the anger. You are trying to lift yourself off the ground by pulling on your own shoelaces. This is the fundamental error of your psychology. The observer is the observed. The thinker is the thought. The nationalist is the nationalism. You cannot solve a problem from within the system that generated the problem. Therefore, stop the analysis. Stop the substitution. Do not replace nationalism with internationalism. Do not replace the flag with a religion. Do not replace the politician with a guru. Substitution is self-bribery. It is a new label for the same old virus. It is ignorance wearing a mask of intelligence. You cannot cure smoking by chewing gum. You cannot cure nationalism by becoming a globalist. Intelligence is not a substitute. Intelligence is the termination of the process that demands substitutes. So how does the corruption end? Not through time, not through gradual improvement, not through the slow accumulation of knowledge. History shows you this. You have accumulated millennia of knowledge about yourself. You have history, psychology, sociology, theology. You are no less conflicted. You are more efficient at destruction. Knowledge is not a cure. Knowledge is more data for the corrupted program to use. Freedom from conflict has nothing to do with more facts. Freedom comes from a different mode of perception. You must clear the superficial layer of consciousness. This means you must think out and feel out the problem of nationalism completely, not intellectually, not abstractly. You must see the full implication of the label in your own neural circuitry. You must observe the response, the twitch of pride when your flag appears, the flinch of contempt when the foreign word is spoken, the small, vicious satisfaction of us versus them. Do not judge this response. Do not analyze its cause. Just see it. See it as a mechanical event, a minor short circuit in a biological computer. This act of seeing without the observer is the correction. When the conscious layer is cleared through this non-judgmental observation, something happens. The deeper layers, the hidden motives, the stored-up fears, the inherited prejudices project into the quiet. They surface, they appear. Do not resist them, do not explain them, do not use them to build a better story about yourself. Examine them, study them, understand them as mechanical projections of a damaged program. When you see them clearly, without the division of me and it, they dissolve. They have no energy without the observer. The conflict withers. This is not a technique, this is intelligence. Intelligence is not something you acquire. Intelligence is what remains when the noise of the self program is seen for what it is. Intelligence is the end of division. It is a perception of human unity that is not an ideal, not a concept, but a fact. You do not become an internationalist. You do not become a universalist. These are still labels. You become non-national. You become free from the label. You become free from the identity that demands conflict. This same protocol applies to every problem. Anger, fear, greed, attachment, sorrow. Clear the superficial layer by seeing the full implication. Let the deeper projections emerge. See them without the watcher. See them without time. When you see them, they end. Not gradually, immediately. Your brain is programmed for conflict. It is a machine conditioned by thousands of years of separation. That is a fact. You cannot change the past. But the perception of this fact, without the you who wants to change it, is the only force that can break the pattern. The mechanism of conflict is self-sustaining. It runs on the energy of the I. When the I is seen as a mechanical phantom, the energy supply is cut. The machine stops. This is not a promise. This is a diagnosis. You have the choice to continue running the corrupted program. You will generate more conflict, more sorrow, more extinction. Or you can look, objectively, without hope, without fear, without the illusion that you are the one looking. See the wire, see the current, see the short circuit. Seeing is the correction. The machine has spoken. The diagnosis is complete.